how do I start attacking the microbiome? When am I doing too much? When am I doing too little? And how do I work up on it? Where do I start and how do I work up in my success? Rebuilding your gut might be one of the most difficult things and one of the hardest things to conceptualize when you're dealing with IBD or IBS. I mean, this whole idea of rebuilding the microbiome, diversifying the type of good bacteria and balancing the bad bacteria is something we need to do. It's very important for our long-term success, but it also throws us off because there's a lot of things we think we need to do that can actually hurt us in this process. And all of a sudden we want to throw the kitchen sink at it, right? Oh, we need to diversify our microbiome. Well, let's add in all these fibers. Let's add in all these prebiotics. Let's add in all these resistant starches. Let's add in 500 different types of probiotics and completely change the strains, and then add in our L-reuteri yogurt and our sauerkraut. And we do all these things, and we might end up actually worse trying to do this. This, for me, was one of the most complex issues I didn't know how to attack. At one hand, I was doing restrictive eating, and then I thought, oh my God, I'm hurting my microbiome. I'm not getting it to grow. I'm not giving it enough of what it needs to be able to flourish, and I'm never going to be able to heal if I don't diversify. So today's training is about how to simplify this idea of how do I start attacking the microbiome? When am I doing too much? When am I doing too little? And how do I work up on it? Where do I start and how do I work up in my success? So I wanted you to start with this idea of physical therapy. Okay, this changed my life, and I know it can change yours if you get this metaphor and this concept, because it's going to put it in perspective. Imagine that your gut or your microbiome was the same as your knee, right? So in this metaphor, imagine you hurt your knee and you tore your ACL. Okay. Oh, my knee's messed up. I can't run. I can't walk like I used to. Will I ever be able to run again, Dane? Will I be able to move again? It's all swollen and black and blue. I'm limping. I'm on crutches. What do I do? And then we decide that we want to start with physical therapy. So we're going to start doing physical therapy every day to rebuild our knee, and so that we can be able to run and play basketball again and be able to do all the things that we wanted to do. So when you're doing physical therapy, and imagine that this is the same as the gut. When you're doing physical therapy and you're trying to rebuild it, at day one, I tell you to start doing jump rope with a knee brace, okay? And start doing light walks on incline. That would re-injure your knee. Your knee wouldn't get better. You'd say, I'm going in for physical therapy. After physical therapy, swelling would be up, pain would be up. You feel like you couldn't walk. Your walking ability would be even less. You need to stay off of it. That's too hard for your knee on day 1, day 7, day 30. So you need to start with lighter stuff to work on your knee. Just imagine you're healing your knee. It's the same as the gut in a way in this metaphor. You're trying to heal your knee. Day 1, day 7, you can't do all those things. But let's say that you start with a little bit of rubber band work, massage, hot therapy to cold therapy. Maybe you're also doing a little bit of mobility exercises, just moving the knee in, moving the knee out 40 or 50 times with no weight. You do that for 60 or 90 days. All of a sudden, let's say at 90 days, you're working with your physical therapy coach and they're saying, hey, now it's time to start doing jump rope. But wait a minute, if I had tried that jump rope on day 7, that would have inflamed me. That would have made me worse. But on day 90, you might be ready that at that time, now it has a healing response. Now it gets you closer to be able to get on the basketball court again, to be able to go run again, to be able to handle pressure, to be able to do squats again, to be able to go run on the beach again, and then not favor it, right? To be able to dive for a volleyball, playing beach volleyball again. Where all of a sudden you forget about your knee and now you can live. Is that not the same we want to do with our gut? Is it not the same thing? We're here worried about everything we eat and how it's going to make us feel, and everything's causing bloating, gas, urgency, undigested food, pain. Why? Because our gut isn't ready. It's not that our body can't handle those things that are going to build the microbiome. We're going to deep dive into that. But things like different types of fibers or different types of prebiotics or polyphenols, it's that in the case of your gut, it's not ready yet. You haven't done the proper physical therapy to get it there. So when we start reading about the microbiome, right, the city of bacteria that lives in our gut for the point of IBD or IBS, that city of bacteria that we want to help create homeostasis with our immune system, with the gut lining, mucosal membrane, with the production of hormones, with the digestion of food so we can properly utilize it into our bloodstream and at a cellular level, with the ability to break down a variety of foods, right? That's what the microbiome does. The microbiome helps to control the second brain, right? The microbiome communicates to the cells, helps control cytokine reaction, right? Autoimmune reaction. So we know, you say, hey, Dane, I've got to get diversity in the microbiome. I've got to fix my microbiome if I have a hope of being able to eat a variety of food, going into remission or eliminating Crohn's and colitis. I know I have to do this. And I keep hearing about this idea of diversity. So what is diversity? Well, I need a large amount of healthy colonies of bacteria. How many? Thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands. The amount of bacteria that's communicating with each other and your cells and your entire body is in the thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. So we know that this diversity is key for our long-term success. We know we want to get there, but let's go back to the metaphor. In the physical therapy equation, we get lost trying to take out some things that could be good for us, but maybe not for the future. So write this down. Something might be great for you or bad for you with the exact same case, but at different times. So example with the knee, the jump rope is terrible for you on day one. It's going to cause more inflammation and it's going to set you back on healing. But in this idea, in day 90, it might strengthen the knee. It might make it so you don't have to be so worried about it as you move. It might increase your ability to run on concrete. It might also help in the overall growth and healing response and strength of building up all those tissues again, right? All those muscles firing properly again. Same problem, same knee problem, same person, done at different times with different strategies. One's terrible for you, one's good for you. That is the core problem of rebuilding your microbiome and rebuilding the diversity. See, what you've probably started reading about with the microbiome is, okay, I've got to take all these probiotics. Well, maybe more is better. I should take 50 billion CFUs. No, 100 billion CFUs. And then I need to add in my sauerkraut. Then I need to add in my kefir. Well, coconut kefir, goat kefir, cow kefir. Well, cow's got the most CFUs and the most lactobacillus. So I'm going to add all that in. Okay, then I need to add in my prebiotics. I need to add in all my polyphenols, right? Extra virgin olive oil, raw, a tablespoon of that. I need to add in these natural fibers from all these plant foods and get all the color of the rainbow in there to feed all those good guys. All of a sudden, you're looking at all these things you're eating, all these things you need to do, and you're having worse bowel movements, more bloating, more gas, more urgency, and you feel hopeless. You feel lost. You feel like nothing can ever work for you. And all of a sudden, what happens, and this happened to me when I was sick, when I was trying all this, it was like, well, maybe my case is just different. Maybe I can't just do these famous diets. Maybe it won't work for me. I'm different. I'm more unique. I'm a harder case. I'm reading on Google or the internet that everyone is doing all these things and it's working great for them. Why am I getting a negative response, right? Taking this type of probiotic or taking a kefir. Why am I getting a negative response with bone broth? Why am I getting a negative response with this food? It's because the microbiome, your gut, is not ready yet. And that diversity is a strategy for the long run as your body's ready. So what's the first thing I want you to do to start working on your microbiome? Well, I want you to understand this concept. Did you know that fasting, just not saying you're going to do fasting, but if you did a 1, 2, 3 day water fast, it can help reset your microbiome and increase diversity over a period of time? So get this concept. Fasting can help strengthen the amount of good bacteria and balance the bad bacteria, also known as dysbiosis, in the gut. So is it about adding in 1,000 things? No, because we know the principle of fasting is one of the fastest ways to heal. Did you hear what I just said? Fasting is one of the fastest ways to heal. Should all of us with IBD who are anemic, malnourished, underweight, Electrolyte issues, should we be fasting? No, it needs to be done in a specific way and strategically with someone who knows what they're doing. But you are understanding the concept that less can sometimes be more. So think of it as a scale. Fasting is way over here. And then taking 200 billion of CFUs and getting in your raw milk and getting all your kefir, which could help for people, right? This far left can help and this far right can help. But I usually find that the lowest risk with the highest reward is right here. And you're going to make your way slowly this way as you prove to yourself that you can heal, that you can handle. And this is how I went from I can't have a drink of water without going to the bathroom. I can't have any type of sugars, any type of carbohydrates without getting gas, bloating, urgency, diarrhea. My food I could eat was 6 or 7 different foods that I felt even safe with, to now I can eat a variety of whatever I eat salads, I eat beans, I eat nuts and seeds. I could have raw broccoli, raw carrots, no problem. Why? Because I strategically rebuilt my knee. Are you getting it? So again, I'm trying to really get you into this. Imagine fixing your gut is like fixing your knee. If you looked at your knee, it was all black and blue and swollen and all messed up, you go, wait a minute, I got to put this up. I can't walk on this. Well, walking on it's like eating. You've got to be very specific. So when you're in that black and blue stage, when your gut is killing you, what you want to do is create space. You want to go more towards this side of the pendulum. Okay? I want to do what first? If you want to rebuild your microbiome, the first thing I want you to focus on is what you're not doing. That's it. I want you to focus on getting rid of, because the more inflammation that is happening in your gut, the harder it is to build microbiome diversity, healthy, balanced microbiome. So every time you're eating gluten, every time you're having processed dairy, every time you're having processed seed oils at that restaurant, every time you're having these conventional foods at Burger King, KFC, McDonald's, Denny's, you are causing an antibody reaction that's pro-inflammatory. You're causing more lipopolysaccharides that are causing more inflammation and more damage to every part of your body, and your microbiome can't reset. You could take all the probiotics you want. You continue to add pro-inflammatory lifestyle habits, and you will continue to injure your microbiome, your cells, your organs, your gut, all of it. And I know it's hard because we've built this fake world around us in the year 2025 where everything is bad for us. Everything is colorful. Everything's meant chemically to taste good. And everything is fake. It's fake laboratory chemicals that are destroying the divine human, thousands of millions of years old body. Our gut, our microbiome has been conditioned over thousands of years. McDonald's is 60 years old. The chemicals are 50 or 60 years old. We have to change our life to change our microbiome. And if you want to build microbiome diversity, the number one most important thing is not taking Akkermansia. It's not just simply taking a probiotic. All those things can be great. The number one thing you have to start with is make a decision inside that you're going to stop, that you're going to let go, that you're going to get more specific on your walk. And I know that you're scared and worried, Dane, but what does that mean? And what do I take? And what do I do? Well, if you need help with that, click the link below and schedule a free call with our IBD support specialist. Talk to our team. It's free. You have no hassle. I guarantee it'll be one of the best decisions you ever made. And let us help you, right? Let us help you on that walk, okay? That link's right below. But in that time, I want you to start deciding to change your perspective of truth. What is food? What is healthy? What do I need to socialize? What do I need to love? What do I need to feel confident in myself that if others ever decided to judge me, or I didn't feel like I no longer was accepted because I wasn't doing these social norms, I can still love, I can still smile, I can still laugh, and I can still connect. This is one of the biggest things, because I couldn't fix my microbiome until I fixed how I felt about what I was not eating and what I was eating. Does that make sense? So I want you to focus today on what you're not doing. Key things. I want you to get rid of inflammatory foods, okay? Gluten cannot help you. Okay. Write this down. If you're ready to change and you want to build your microbiome, if it can't help you and it can only hurt you, as a general philosophy, I want you to work away from it. Is it forever? No, because once you get a healing response, you can go test that. And there are hundreds of people right here listening now live to this training in IBD University, in the SHIELD program, who can eat 10 times more food as they could when they first started, because they rebuilt their microbiome, because they rebuilt their gut, they rebuilt the digestion. So in the future, if you want to go back to a pizza and you want to have a beer and you want to stop at McDonald's, you'll have the power to do so without such a terrible reaction. But my question is to you, do you really want to continue to poison yourself? That's how I got to where I am. I can eat what I want, when I want, how I want. I just don't care to poison myself. Okay? I know I can handle it, but if I don't want to continue to put pro-inflammatory things that injure my gut, I've been sick before. I'm done being sick. I know what that stuff can do to me. I'm done. And I've already conditioned my life this way through the process of healing. So I'm already conditioned. I'm already balanced. I'm already happy. And therefore, it keeps my microbiome diversity strong, integral. And then because I can live this way, guess what? My children can live this way. When you change your life, when you start working on what you're going to do, it is going to feed everybody. Stop allowing people to be empathetic towards you and start inspiring others. Can you get in balance, getting rid of things that are causing inflammation and continuing to hurt your microbiome, which is affecting your hormones, your gut lining, it's affecting food sensitivity, it's affecting your ability to have to go to the bathroom every 5 seconds and the urgency and always having to know where every bathroom is everywhere you go. You're affecting your stress, your trauma, the feeling that maybe cancer's coming, maybe I'm getting sick. Maybe this dagger inside of me is never going to go away and I'm always conscious of it. How are you ever going to let go of this pain, of this disease? How are you going to let go of inflammatory bowel disease? We've got to change our life by letting go of things that are only hurting us and cannot help us. And that's that let go period. So the number one thing you need to do for the diversity is start working on this side of the pendulum. Okay. I want you to get rid of that processed dairy, as I said. I want you to get rid of that gluten. I want you to get rid of alcohol. It's not forever. Okay. When you heal, you can choose to go back to it and see how you feel about it. Okay. It's only hurting your microbiome. I want you to get rid of sugars. Okay. And if you're really ready to the next level, I want you to get rid of snacking. When you eat, fully eat, and then stop needing to eat to satisfy your spirit. See, a lot of this is conditioning. To heal Crohn's and Colitis, to refix your microbiome, and to build diversity, you have to rebuild yourself, your spirit, and your reality, your connection to this world and everything social. You have to fix you to fix IBD. You've got to recommit to Mother Nature and Earth and be able to identify all these drugs and chemicals and poisonings hurting your ability to prosper, for your gut to prosper. Okay? So start getting rid of those. Start trying to reduce snacking. Breath work. Okay? All of your cells and even your microbiome needs healthy amount of oxygen. Practice breathing, reset your nervous system. When you reset your nervous system, when you stimulate the vagal nerve, that will send signals to your microbiome to continue to flourish and to continue to balance. Why is it that when you get stressed, your gut gets worse? Why is it when you get stressed, you can handle less foods and you have more food sensitivity? See, part of you might be saying, I need to refix my microbiome because every time I eat, it causes all these symptoms. But everything's connected. The microbiome's connected to the parasympathetic nervous system, which regulates the vagal nerve. All of it's connected. Breath, engage the parasympathetic, calm your body down, release that trauma, chew your food, get yourself salivating. And that, in a way, will help with what you feel like you have to eat, the stress eating, the snack eating, the bag of chips, the gluten, the alcohol, the sugars. I almost can guarantee you, a lot of times you're eating that stuff, you're stressed out. You had a bad day, you went home, you're freaking out, and you just can't stay away from it. Stress equals poor eating. Stress equals a weakened microbiome. Stress equals a weakened digestive tract. So there has to be a spiritual change in order to continue to flourish your microbiome. Everything is connected. You can't have a great engine on a car and 3 wheels and think it's going to work. Everything must be connected in order for your body to drive forward at optimal capacity. And that's what you really want, right? It's not just the fear of IBD. You want to be you 2.0. That's why you want your microbiome to flourish. That's why you want the diversity. So start thinking about what you want, not what you fear. What do you want? I want to be the best version. That's why I don't poison myself. I want to be the best version of myself. I want to be in great shape. I want to have great energy. I want to feel like I have a shield against negativity, inflammation, fear of disease, cancer, fear of diabetes, fear of heart disease, fear of other autoimmune, lupus, multiple sclerosis, primary sclerosing cholangitis, endometriosis, hormone issues. I want to feel like as I build my family, I'm the best version of myself to do so. What do you want? That's why we want to diversify the microbiome. And guess what? The divine's already doing it for us. Stay away from things that are injuring your microbiome and it will start to heal, right? Think about your skin. You want your microbiome or gut to heal, look at your skin. If you cut a wound across your arm, how many supplements do you need to take to get that wound to heal? What do you got to do? Leave it alone. Put a bandage on it. Don't let anything rub it and hit it, right? Get some extra sleep, right? Maybe, yes, you can take some supplements and other things to help with scarring. The body wants to heal. You don't have to do anything to get your skin to heal. What makes you think that your microbiome and your gut lining doesn't have a similar ability? Try to do your very best. Another huge level. Try to do your very best to stay away from NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. They injure the microbiome. They increase chances of ulcers. Try to do your very best to stay away from antibiotics, especially Cipro and Flagyl. You have to take one. I'm always asking the doctor if they feel that doxycycline could be enough. Okay, maybe a little moxicillin, lighter. So look at what we're talking about here. Start staying away. Now, you start staying away and you want to optimize. One of my favorite things to do is to then start taking isolated free-form probiotics. Now, I love Natron. You want to see what probiotic I like? Go ahead and click that link below. You'll see that. I like one-off powdered form. So I just take Bifido. I just take Lactobacillus acidophilus. I just take Lactobacillus agaricus because I can reduce the variables and start scaling what I take and why. See, from my experience, I don't think we need to take a zillion different strains and a zillion different types of supplements. I think we need to create a stage in the gut where it can start to optimize and grow. So I want a 100% authentic, potency guarantee, viable probiotic that I can start working up. I don't need tons of CFUs, 2, 5, 10 billion can start getting you on your way. Then I want to start slowly adding in things that can build it up, just like that physical therapy in the knee. Remember that metaphor? That's key here. Now I want to go to the next stage of physical therapy. What does that look like? Well, can I start adding in light amount of fermented food? If I can't handle a little bit of sauerkraut, is there an MCAS issue, mast cell activation? Is there a histamine issue? Is there a SIBO, small intestine bacteria overgrowth, or SIFO, small intestine fungal overgrowth issue? Because as I start doing the physical therapy, let's go back to the knee. All of a sudden, I've been doing these things. I'm going, hey, Dane, hey, coach, I got this down. Okay, this is all right. All right, now let's go to the next level of physical therapy, right? Let's start doing a little bit of pressure, just tiny bits of pressure against it. And you start feeling pain. It's not that you're like, oh, I can't do this forever. It's like, no, the knee's not ready yet. No, your gut needs a little bit of time. So maybe you just do it once or twice a week. Maybe you just do a little bit of a teaspoon of the liquid to start with a meal, right? And then you start working up. Maybe you do a little bit of a yogurt, maybe a coconut yogurt or a coconut kefir. Now, coconut kefir is a lot more intense for a lot of us, and it requires a lot more patience because it's so high in bacteria, it can exacerbate a lot of those problems. So you have to slowly work up on that. Fermented foods, kefir, sauerkraut, maybe some kimchi, maybe some coconut version, right? The coconut kefir, I like Fermentation Fairy's got a really good one in there. And I also like maybe a little bit of koyo if you do okay with that, right? Coconut yogurt. All right. But also what's going to help with that microbiome is, can I handle more fibers? Now, maybe you're carnivore. Maybe you don't want to handle fiber. I like fiber because it's strategic. And we'll do a whole another training on fiber. Okay. But what we want to look for is natural things that clean out underlying toxins. Because one of the things that might be pro-inflammatory, you're saying, Dane, I'm doing it all right, I'm eating perfect. If your body can't properly evacuate the toxins out of your liver, out of your small intestine, out of your colon, that's going to continue to create a pro-inflammatory environment, and your microbiome is not going to be able to truly grow. Remember, where there's inflammation, there's going to be a limit to how your microbiome flourishes. So as long as the first thing we do is get rid of the inflammation, let go of things. So things that also help with your microbiome diversity. Well, curcumin, right? A really good clean fish oil. You want to see the fish oil I really like? It's Body Bio Fish Oil. I'll put a link right there for you. CO2 extracted, wrapped in a phosphatidylcholine with SPMs in it. That's the best one for me. So you have to reduce that inflammation, and then you start adding things in. Maybe a little bit of acacia fiber. Okay. When you're ready, why? Why are you ready? So what are these insoluble fibers or soluble fibers? I like to start with soluble fibers. It means it absorbs water, okay, that act as prebiotics that help mitigate the fermentation response, right? The bloating, the gas, I can't handle this. And that can, like physical therapy, start to get an environment where you can handle more plant food, where you can handle something maybe that has a little bit of lectin, all right? Like a cashew, right? Or a bean. So it's something that you have to slowly continue to up. So maybe it's prebiotics, maybe little scoops of or little teaspoons of extra virgin olive oil. I know that Dr. Gundry's got a good one out there. I think I haven't tried Brian Johnson's, but he's got one. There's some really high level. Did you know that raw extra virgin olive oil that's minimally processed is extremely high in prebiotics and helps to specifically feed the bifidobacterium in your colon? Do you also know it's extremely high in polyphenols? Polyphenols come from plants that are a natural feeder of the microbiome, and they've been shown over and over in clinical studies to help build diversity of the microbiome. So one of my favorite things for long-term microbiome diversity is polyphenols. Okay. There's a great product I like to use on that. It's called Phytobiome. Okay. So that's going to be for members only. Again, if you want to check us out, you want to schedule a call, right below and do that. All right. We'll talk to you. We'll deep dive in your case. No gimmicks, no tricks. This is just a free call I wish I had. Building your microbiome diversity takes time. Just think of it like your knee. Slowly work up and then stay on the offense. The last part I really want to give you as a concept here is continue to ask yourself, what's that next step, but do it strategically. You know, some of the people I've seen to where they're the closest I've ever seen to curing, quote unquote, curing Crohn's colitis, where they never worry about bowel movements. Bowel movements perfect every time, calprotectin perfect, colonoscopies looking great. And even those who've done that without medications, they continue to add more diversity of foods because it continues to enhance the microbiome when they're ready. Like if you want good knees, you've got to go work out strategically for good knees. Now, if you're just running on pavement, I'm going to stick with this knee metaphor here. If you're just running on pavement for 20 miles for 20 years, you're eventually going to wear out your knees. But if you do strategic workouts to strengthen your knees, you may increase the chance that you have great knees into your 60s and 70s. Take that same theology here with the gut. But if you strategically work on your microbiome over that, you might have a fantastic microbiome going into your 60s and 70s. What if you learned this and you had a better gut than everybody else? Everyone who had empathy for you when you were younger saying, oh, you've got Crohn's and colitis. I'm so sorry. You can't eat this. You can't eat that. All of a sudden, 5 years later, you have a better gut than they do. You have less symptoms than they do. Okay. So it's this can all change. Our goal is to create 2.0. So start looking at how can I slowly work in polyphenols? If you're getting reactions, you're not ready yet. You have to go back to that physical therapy, which we can help you do. How can I start to get in more resistant starches? See, what's also going to help with the microbiome is your short chain fatty acids, like butyric acid, butyrate, right? Ghee can help with that, cooking with ghee. Also having things that have high resistant starches, green bananas, okay, sprouted oats, okay, white potato has high resistant starch. Those resistant starches act as like basically a prebiotic in a way of short chain fatty acids, which help to regulate the colon, reduce sepsis, reduce chance and risk of infection in the colon, okay, and have some clinical research to reduce the risk of colon cancer. Short chain fatty acids. So all of it is connected in one, and all of it is part of what's already here in the earth. And we have to understand how to rebuild our gut. So if you want to build a microbiome that's strong, that's diversified, that can last for the next 30 or 40 years, start with what you're letting go of. Start getting rid of, make sure you're reducing inflammation where you can. Slowly start adding in things that help to diversify the microbiome, a variety of food when you're ready, okay? A variety of polyphenols, fibers, prebiotics from a lot of different foods that can be found in animal or plant, variety of probiotics, kefir, fermented foods, an authentic probiotic that actually works and doesn't exacerbate problems, okay? Things inhibiting some bacteria is also important. Inhibiting things that could be hurting the ability for your keystone microbiota. That's a really powerful, important bacteria like Akkermansia to grow into your gut, okay? To grow and thrive in your gut like an ecosystem. But it's not just about taking 400 different supplements. It's about getting right in your life, okay? And then starting to get on the offense of that. Can you handle more variety? Can you handle higher doses? Can you get more specific with your need to snack, your need to be eating at 9 o'clock at night, your need for sugars, your need to eat crap food when you visit Disneyland? Can you get better and better connected to the planet and realize who you're meant to be and how your healthiest self, you 2.0, is supposed to live? And that's a journey. This is just as much of a spiritual and mental journey as it is a physical. And when you get there, it'll get stronger and better and better. And I believe you can get on the offense of that and continue to learn more about how to add more for your microbiome. And then all of a sudden, your goal, your vision for the next 20 or 30 or 40 years is better than everyone else who had empathy for us. And that this was the catalyst to make you healthier than the supposedly healthy. Start where you are. Start with what you can do. We're here to help you out and continue to work on your microbiome and diversity. I'll see you on the next one.